For today's video, I am making chile relleno enchiladas, and let me tell you, this is so easy to make and very delicious. So keep watching so I can show you how to make this delicious meal. I have 3 poblano peppers and I want to roast them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these under the broiler until the skin gets nice and charred. Here I have them nice and roasted. This took me a total of 14 minutes. And you don't want to walk away, you want to stay nearby, and you want to just rotate them. It does not take long at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a Ziploc, just like this. So I'm going to leave them in here for 10 minutes so they can sweat. And this is just going to make removing the skin a lot easier. So now I'm going to get started on the enchilada sauce. I have here 1 cup of tomato sauce and 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And I put it in here and I just mix them both up together. And speaking of tomato sauce, I don't know if I'm late to this, but I found this at Walmart. And finally, tomato sauce in a plastic container that I can put right back in the fridge. Now, if only cereal companies can start putting cereal in Ziploc bags, right? So I have my pan here and I'm going to add chicken broth and tomato sauce. Into that, I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of chili powder and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Check the description bar for all the ingredients. That's where I put everything. And then here I have some garlic powder, onion powder, ground cumin, and some sugar and chicken bouillon. And if you don't have chicken bouillon, like I always say, you can add salt. And I'm just adding half a teaspoon of everything. And for the sugar, I'm adding 1 teaspoon. And the bouillon, I'm going to check it and taste it and see if it needs more. And then just stir that up. So this is similar, the same spices that I made in my beef enchilada recipe. Only thing I'm doing different is I'm not making a roux. I'm just going to make it very simple. And you want to let this continue until it comes to a boil, and then you just want to simmer it and let it go nice and slow for 10 minutes. So let me taste this and see if it needs any more salt, or in my case, chicken bouillon. Perfect with, I think I put 1/4 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. So just add a little of your salt, whatever, to your liking, and just adjust it if you need to. So now that it's boiling, I am going to turn it on low. Again, I'm just gonna let it simmer for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna go right back to the poblano peppers and start peeling the charred skin off of them. And they're nice and cool, they're not hot. So now I'm just gonna pop this off right here because we're gonna remove the seeds. And look how easy the skin comes off. So simple. And because we're not stuffing these, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I'm gonna chop this up. So let me continue removing the skin off of all of these. So I'm just removing the seeds with a spoon, and I'm sure I've said this plenty times before in my other videos. Once I'm done with the seeds, I'm going to rinse my hands because you do not want to touch anything after touching these seeds, okay? Very importante that you go wash your hands. Also, another quick tip, do not go and rinse your peppers underwater to try and get everything off. Just take a little time and scrape it with a spoon. Now, if you want, you can cut your poblano peppers in strips, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finely dice them, just like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna add this to my cheese. I'm using Oaxaca cheese. You can use the cheese of your choice. You can use Monterey Jack, you can use mozzarella if you wanted to. Just make sure it's a good melting cheese. Here I have half a cup because I reserved some of this to sprinkle on top. Over here I have 1.5 cups. But really, I mean, if you want to add more, by all means, go ahead and add more. I really don't think there should be an exact amount of cheese, okay? Because I love to add a lot of cheese. So now I'm going to add this in here, and I'm going to mix this up just like this. And I'm sorry if you hear the noise outside. There's construction like right outside on my street. Okay, so now before I do anything else, I'm going to wash this off my hands, okay? So here I have a damp paper towel because I like to put my corn tortillas, by the way, I like to just do 4 at a time, in the microwave until they get nice and soft and pliable. But if your technique is you like to put them in oil until they get nice and soft, then go ahead and do it that way. But this is the way that I prefer to do it. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for 1 minute. And here they are, nice and soft for me to roll. So I'm going to use, I don't even know the size of this pan. You can use like a 9 by 13. And I'm using this little one for right now. I went ahead and put the sauce back in here. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bottom. Just want to evenly coat that on the bottom. Not too much, just like that. Then I just do everything in here. So I put my corn tortilla, take my cheese, poblano pepper filling. You don't want to put too much. You want to be able to roll this up. And you want it seam side down, just like that. This is one technique that you can use, right? You can put it in one of these pans if you got a big family or you want to make it for a large crowd. But I'm going to show you sometimes how I do mine. Maybe you're cooking for just 1 or maybe for just 2 and you don't want to make a big pan like this. Like you can make all of this, you can freeze it, and then whenever you want it, just have it nice and fresh the day you feel like eating this. And I'll show you in a minute how I do mine. So let me continue filling these up. Here I rolled up 8, so I'm just going to take a little bit more of my sauce and pour that on top. And make sure it's evenly coated. And just sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top. And I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees uncovered for about 15-20 minutes or until I see the cheese has started to melt. And here is the way I do it sometimes. So maybe you don't want to make a tray, you know, a big pan of enchiladas. Maybe you're just cooking for 1 or for 2. So you can always make it individually, just like this. Add some of the sauce on top. And sprinkle some cheese. And just put this in the microwave until the cheese melts. So I would say maybe about a minute. Here you go, serving for 1. And this is just as good as if you put it in the oven. Now, time for me to dig in. And you know, if you're cooking with Trish, you know it's delish. And here they are fresh out of the oven. Like I said, you can add as much or as little cheese as you like. Now, before I dig in, you can always add like chicken in here if you want, or like meat and potatoes, like my picadillo. I do have a recipe for that. If I don't forget, I'll link it in the description bar. You could add some rice on the side, or some beans, or just leave it as is. And it's a perfect meatless meal as well. The poblano peppers do not have like a lot of spice to it. Like there's not much heat to it. It's very delicious. So like you don't have to go through the trouble of making the Chiles Rellenos. So simple and easy. And not to mention very budget friendly. Okay, so let me finish up here because this is so good. Definitely give it a try. And that's the video for today, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can continue seeing more delicious recipes like this. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.